Live from KST Washington, the 10 o'clock news with Charles Johnson, Wendy Mann, sports with Cal Glomstead, and meteorologist Dave Torsion.
Most of the nation is preparing for a long holiday weekend, but for the families of 37 sailors who died on the USS Stark, this Memorial Day takes on compelling significance. President Reagan, the commander-in-chief today, led the nation in remembering those 37 men.
At Mayport Naval Station in Florida, a helicopter hangar became a chapel. The President and First Lady were there to help comfort relatives and friends trying to cope with their grief, trying to understand why. By duty, but this is much more difficult.
Separated by distance, by miles of land and ocean. Now you are separated again, not just by territorial limits, but because they have stepped through that door that God has promised all of us.
The President explained, as he has repeatedly this week, why U.S. forces are in the Persian Gulf and why they will stay.
This is a region critical to avoiding larger conflict in the tinderbox that is the Middle East. And our role there is essential to building the conditions for peace in that troubled, dangerous part of the world.
There was no mention of the letter of condolence the President received from Iraqi President Hussein. No mention either that the 37 men of the Stark died in what the Iraqis say, and the U.S. accepts, was an accident. Sitting next to First Lady Nancy Reagan, Senior Chief Gary Kleinfelter of Port Orchard, stationed at Bangor. Kleinfelter received special praise from the President.
He had volunteered to work at the coordinating center here for the families when he received word that his own son, Seaman Brian Kleinfelter, previously listed as missing in action, was among the confirmed dead. "I need to keep working," he said. He stayed at his post. He carried on.
The President has had this mission before for Marines killed by terrorists in Beirut, soldiers from the 101st Airborne lost in a plane crash in Newfoundland, troops who fell in Grenada, and now seamen lost in the Persian Gulf.
Yes, they were ordinary men who did extraordinary things. Yes, they were heroes.
Tonight, sources say officials probing the Iraqi attack on the USS Stark are focusing on the ship's anti-missile system. Military investigators reportedly suspect that the system was not in complete working order.
Charlie, a tornado tonight leveled the town of Saragosa, Texas, killing 25 people and injuring as many as 100. Authorities say people are still trapped in at least one collapsed building. The town is without power, and the roads are said to be impassable. Rescue units from around Texas are headed to the scene, and Red Cross units are preparing a school for people left homeless. A nearby amateur radio operator says the town is gone. Well, here at home, people are asking for help in locating a woman last seen in Tacoma Sunday night. Kathleen Ober is white, about 5'2", 165 pounds, with short blonde hair. Her light blue Ford Maverick was found yesterday in the Gig Harbor area. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to call 911.
Frederick Nelson sales clerks today voted to accept the new 3-year contract offer. Although the threat of a strike has been averted, the rank and file is not happy with the new package. We get more now on this story from Bill Benson.
The contract affects nearly 1,000 clerks at 4 Puget Sound area Frederick stores. Last weekend, the clerks rejected a proposal citing over 30 concessions they couldn't live with, but decided not to strike. Today's offer was described by the union as the best package the clerks could expect without walking. It was approved by a margin of 371 to 121. The employees got their way over issues like a wage freeze, keeping seniority, and overtime. However, more employees were taken off salary and put on commission, and the cost of medical benefits went up.
I don't know how you can be happy about it. A lot of people just don't want to be out of a job, I guess. It's very difficult to keep a sales staff at 10% of sales productivity.
I'm upset about the insurance benefits. I have a husband and I have a child, and my husband doesn't have insurance benefits, and so I'm having to pay for it.
United Food and Commercial Workers President Joe Peterson agreed that the employees have a right not to be happy.
I don't think that there are very many negotiations. There have been very many negotiations recently where any group of employees have been happy with the final proposal, and this certainly was no exception.
Although the Fredericks contract has been settled, the union's work is not over. The Nordstrom's contract expired on May 15th. Those negotiations are scheduled to get underway next week. For the 10 o'clock news, Bill Benson reporting.
Up next, the holiday weekend is already underway. We have tips on how to cope with the crowds. A group of POWs remembers what it was like.
We'll hear from a man who went around the world in a wheelchair for a good reason.
Next on Barney Miller, Fish Retires.
Your last bus. Now, Fish. Yep. You should be honored.
Oh, I'm thrilled. You're going to force me out? Not me.
The boys give him a present.
What is it? It's a New York City municipal bond.
Oh, my God.
Barney Miller, tonight at 11 on KSD Washington.
Article after article reports that Ford quality is the success story of the year. In the Northwest, Ford is #1 in sales and pulling away.
Get 3.9% financing or $600 cash back on Ford Escort, the best-selling car in the world. 3.9% or up to $600 cash back on Ford F-Series trucks, the best-selling vehicle in the world. And 3.9% or cash on Taurus, named one of the best cars in the world by Car and Driver.
For a quality deal, see your Northwest Ford dealers.
Levitt's Memorial Weekend Sale. Man, have I been busy. Levitt's is selling Simmons quilted comfort mattresses like hotcakes. And no wonder. Twins, fulls, queens, or kings, any size mattress or box spring, only $98. Whoo-wee, that's hot. Or choose Simmons Maxipedic Perfect Support. Any size, only $128. Well, gotta get another load. Levitt's Memorial Weekend Sale ends Monday night. Thank goodness.
You'll love it at Levitt's. I was feeling so bad. I asked my family doctors what I had. I said, doctor, Mr. M.D., now can you tell me what's ailing me?
At Group Health, we carefully select our doctors. Then we let you choose the personal physician you want. Group Health, it's all you really need.
If your supermarket's short on selection, you've got to think big.
A whole lot of people are coming and going this Memorial weekend. Travelers are headed in and out of town by land, sea, and air. Kenny Mann reports now on how it all shapes up and how those who have to deal with the rush are preparing for it.
If the ferry system is your means of travel this weekend, be prepared for long lines. And if you don't come early enough to sit in those long lines, be prepared to miss the boat. Ferry ridership is already up about 15% over last year, and this weekend the crush will be great. Ferry officials recommend not bringing along the car when possible. At SeaTac Airport, 50,000 passengers are expected to move through each day over the weekend. The airport has set up 700 additional parking spaces to handle the parking lot overflow. Skycaps recognize the rush when they see it.
We do feel traffic picking up. We know it's summertime coming up. Yeah, and we feel good about that.
The highways will be as crowded as the waters in the skies, packed with vacationers, packed with patrollers.
And this is the first major holiday of the year, and we're going to aggressively go out and enforce the laws, especially the speeding and the drunk drivers. There's several emphases in operation from border to border on I-5 and on Interstate 90. So we're aggressively going to be enforcing the speed that's posted.
The State Patrol has 85 extra troopers working the roads around the state because of the expected amount of motorists. Harborview Medical Center in Seattle doesn't want a crowd of patients this weekend, so it put a safety message on display. The word from all safety and travel officials is leave early, then take it slow. It's a long weekend. Kenny Mann for the 10 o'clock news.
Sailors in the military aren't the only mariners who lose their lives at sea, of course, and today a service for them was held on the shores of Elliott Bay in Seattle. This memorial was for members of the Merchant Marine who never returned from their last voyage. The observance is an annual event sponsored by the Port of Seattle. This